The reptilian situation is extremely complex and may very well represent the hardest trail in paranormal intelligence to track. There are various reasons for this that will be revealed as we proceed, but chief among the problems is the antiquity of the problem itself. The Emerald Tablet stretches into the farthest memories of what has been a turbulent human history, full of cataclysmic impacts, and we suffer from a species-wide amnesia about our ancient past. It is during this ancient past that the first clues begin to emerge that can be collated into a comprehensive intelligence briefing on the reptilian situation as can be determined by OSINT sources. There are conflicting sources of origin story for the reptilian aliens. The main confusion lies in the Sumerian tablet descriptions of the Anunnaki. It is widely considered that the Anunnaki must have been somehow reptilian in nature or part of the reptilian genetic stream of the universe, but the surviving bas-reliefs and engraved depictions of the Anunnaki doesn't show them as reptilian, but almost identical to humans. The discrepancy has been one that has, over time, led to the development of competing theories as to the ultimate origin of the reptilian aliens now on Earth. Using the Emerald Tablet of Thoth, however, I believe I have been able to positively rule out the fallen Anunnaki as the source of the reptilian aliens now present on Earth. The tablet clearly states that they only became aware of the serpent men when sound vibrations interfered with the cloak they were using to look fully human. This is very interesting to me, because as an expert in ancient mysteries, I know that Thoth was most likely the biblical Cush, the son of Ham. Ham, in turn, was the great-grandson of Noah. Researchers know that Hermes was the Greek name for the Egyptian Thoth. Hermes breaks down to mean son of Ham. Therefore, it is most likely Cush, who was also a king, who held the handed-down knowledge of the Anunnaki, and who is inscribed that knowledge on emerald tablets. It is known that the bloodline of Noah can be traced back to Enki himself. What this means is that at some point, after the last of the fallen Anunnaki died, the Earth was infiltrated by a reptilian race. The world's best remote viewers now believe these aliens originated from another galaxy. Not only that, but there is a growing consensus among investigators into these matters that there is actual validity of claims, both past and present, of interaction with a reptilian alien species. To fully understand the breakdown, as the remote viewers at Farsight Institute understand it to be, we will need to discuss what is only being called the War in Heavens. This was a huge battle on a multi-planet scale in our solar system. The battle appears to have been between Mars and Nibiru, the home planet of the Anunnaki, and which used to exist as the ninth planet in our solar system. The civilization on Mars was decimated, and scientists have long wondered how such high deposits of xenon 129 could be on Mars when it requires a nuclear explosion to produce the element. There are vast quantities on the surface of Mars. Before the last of the Mars civilization died, they managed to launch what the viewers basically described as a superweapon, a planet killer. They were able to successfully deploy the weapon, and this resulted in the complete destruction of Nibiru, the pieces of which today serve as the asteroid belt. A few Anunnaki were marooned on the Earth, and the viewers claim that a few space arcs from the Mars civilization landed in what is today Antarctica. They also report that the reptilians were present in this conflict, although their role is not fully understood, and there were reptilian aliens on the Earth during this period who remain to this day. I believe the few Anunnaki left on Earth inscribed the secrets of sound, frequency, and vibration into countless megalithic monuments to forever preserve the science that could win us our freedom. The secrets of sound are central to the deepest secrets held by all ancient occult priesthoods, and today we are rediscovering them in laboratories around the world. But the fallen Anunnaki left us a warning, and they left us the Promethean keys of our escape from what they must have perceived to be a dire threat. When it comes to paranormal phenomena, nothing garners more incredulity than the subject of reptilian aliens. Even many who are well versed in the subculture of ufology and alien abduction have a hard time coming to terms with accepting the idea of a reptilian alien. It just seems outlandish to our human perception of the universe. This view, however, appears to be in error. The great Carl Sagan said that there are more possible combinations of DNA in the universe than there are atoms. The reptilian genetic stream is but one of countless genetic streams in the universe. There are several evolutionary scientists who have published research papers suggesting that if the dinosaurs had not been obliterated, they would have eventually produced a dinosauroid, or upright walking, intelligent, self-aware species that might even have opposable thumbs and look like other humanoids. Recently, an interesting article was published discussing how all intelligent life in the universe probably must follow certain genetic rules that allow for the outcome of many humanoid-like creatures. One competing theory to the extraterrestrial theory is that some of the reptilian life forms on this planet did not go extinct, but rather continue to evolve inside caverns in the Earth. This is referred to as the sauroid theory. Yet another is that these creatures are interdimensional in nature, and there are aspects which tend to lend themselves to this conclusion. However, an FBI memo dating from 1947 speaks of the aliens' ability to control thoughts of humans through what they termed trans-thought induction. And many of the researchers, including David Icke, who have delved deeply into this matter, think that these aliens could be interdimensional and are able to operate through certain genetic bloodlines on this planet because of their reptilian genetic lineage. This is where our research differs, as I discussed earlier with the Tablet of Thoth. John Rhodes, one of the foremost authorities on the reptilian presence, has stated that he believes they may be space invaders who move from planet to planet, covertly infiltrating the host society and eventually taking over. The reptilians carry out abductions of sentient life forms while their scientists study their biology and introduce the reptilian genetic code into species they wish to manipulate. Rhodes believes that after the reptilians invade a planet, they strip it of its resources like water, minerals, and DNA information. The infiltration of human society appears to be an agenda that seeks to control consciousness in as many species as possible. We do not know what the end goal of this strategy is. Some researchers believe that there has been a major effort to infiltrate the secret societies of the Earth in an effort to aid them in the takeover. The interdimensional hypothesis works like this. The reptilians exist in another dimension, but can materialize in this one upon hitting the vibrational rate of our reality. Because of this amazing ability, some researchers believe that they conducted genetic crossbreeding to facilitate a genetic link that can be accessed from the other dimension. Through this mechanism, researchers like David Icke believe that the reptilians can control the actions and thoughts of humans who share their genetic stream from another dimension. Because of this apparent ability, they have been able to establish permanent underground bases around the Earth from which they conduct their operations. Credo Mutwa, whom David Icke has interviewed on 2 separate videos dealing with the reptilians, was one of the last of a long lineage of Zulu shaman who possessed the lost oral history of his people. The videos are titled Reptilian Agenda Part 1 and Part 2, and Mutwa has published a book detailing his knowledge titled The Children of the Serpent. Calling on nearly 80 years of suppressed African history, Mutwa tells the story of the Shatari, the reptilian race, as the Zulu called them. He goes on to explain in Reptilian Agenda Part 1 how he was abducted by the Greys in 1959. He says that he knows from this and the Greys that were caught and often eaten by Africans over the centuries that the black eyes are actually goggles covering their real eyes, which are reptilian. He also says that what seems to be gray skin is in fact an extremely tight, false-fitting skin or suit. The grays, he says, are really reptilian. When we turn our attention to the many fascinating remote viewing experiments conducted at Farsight, we find a number of them targeting the reptilian aliens. In their findings on the origins of the species, they determined that it appeared as though the reptilians originate from another galaxy altogether. The main takeaway from the Farsight.org experiments is confirmation of the existence and presence of the reptilian species on Earth, and the fact that they represent a very real threat to the future of humanity. Most importantly, they have confirmed that the reptilians are responsible for a vast number of missing people, and then things get far darker from there. The reptilians have a way of systematic torture to produce certain enzymes, etc., in the human body that they require for survival. Dr. Courtney Brown and his crack team of remote viewers are quite certain of the dire threat posed by the reptilians. One aspect that we must focus on because of its overall importance to the mystery itself is the ability to use sound or other technology or DNA to shapeshift between human and reptilian form. This is reported time and again in reports dealing with the reptilians. The shapeshifting appears to be connected to the use of sound, vibrations, frequency, etc. I believe this is what is being referred to in the Emerald Tablet of Thoth. David Icke and other accomplished researchers believe that the reptilian species is able to maintain control over humanity through the use of sound vibrations. This makes far more sense than most would presuppose. Tesla said the key to the universe is sound, vibrations, and frequency. It appears the fallen Anunnaki were quite aware of this mechanism of nature and encoded it in structures such as the pyramids at Giza. The Farsight team states in their war in heaven viewings that it appears as though at one time on the Earth there were 3 alien species. This occurred just after the war between Mars and Nibiru. The fallen Anunnaki who were marooned here, the Martians who survived and set sail for the Earth, and this reptilian species. As far as we are able to ascertain, the reptilians are all that is left. It is currently unknown to us if the Greys are, in fact, part of the reptilian empire, or if they represent an altogether different alien species. Mutwa says they are the same, however, the reptilians are rarely reported during alien abduction accounts. This adds to the overall confusion of the situation. They use sound and frequency and vibration to manipulate and control humanity. It is because of this that many researchers believe that the reptilians have infiltrated the music and entertainment industry around the world. One might scoff at the credulity of such a notion, but what if I told you that one of the world's most famous rock stars admitted to a music executive shape-shifting right in front of them? This actually happened, right on the air of the Howard Stern show, and the rock star was Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins. He refused to provide any further detail, even in a follow-up interview conducted by Rolling Stone magazine. He did, however, confirm that not only did that incident take place, but that it happened twice. We go where the intelligence leads us, not where we would like it to lead us. Even more shocking, as far as evidence goes, are the reptilian mummies recovered in Peru and examined by investigators employed by Gaia, who I do production work for. I can confirm beyond a doubt that the mummies are real and not fakes of any kind. The Ministry of Culture in Peru are the ones who refuse to acknowledge the validity of the find because of religious reasons, and without their approval, no other scientific teams will examine the bodies. I chronicled this entire find in the PIA video titled Nazca Mummies. The team of scientists who initially traveled to Peru have declared the bodies to be genuine, and 3 of the mummies have reptilian anatomies and walked upright. One of the creatures apparently still had an egg in its abdomen. I have included those images here.